Many years ago, I programmed myself to have a very high level of self-confidence. And is it a good thing or a bad thing? That's what I'm going to share with you today. And I'm also going to share what was that technique that works so well that now that I have kind of a very high level of self-confidence and I am willing to take risks that most of people would not be willing to. Hi everyone. So this is a question I was really thinking about today, about self-confidence. Is it possible to have too much self-confidence? In fact, I think it is possible. And sometimes I catch myself being overconfident on doing things. And what does that really mean? Being overconfident is like taking too much risks. It's like taking too much risk and making mistakes. So what happens when you make mistakes? It's like with fear. It's usually to protect yourself. So fear is also a good thing. It's, I think, related to self-confidence, and having over self-confidence, it's kind of being kind of fearless at some point. And when you lack of fear or you have too much self-confidence, what you run the risk is to hurt yourself. So as an entrepreneur, it's not going to hurt yourself physically. I mean, you are not going to break your legs or whatever, but you can lose time, you can lose money, and you can lose energy on something that does not worth it, right? So I feel like we as an entrepreneur, we get used to get out of our comfort zone. We get used to challenge ourselves. We get used to test things that most of people would not be willing to. And I think it's kind of in the nature of being an entrepreneur is to be able to do that stuff. But in some way, if you are too much of an entrepreneur, if you take too much risks, well, in that case, you waste your time, you waste your energy. You could have done things differently. Like what I did last year with my CTO friend. We became 5. We took risks. We were thinking that we would raise funds, etc. And in the end, I end up to be alone in that company. So that's the type of risks that we should be willing to take, but we maybe sometimes would meditate more on what is good or bad, and then taking more time just to maybe, I don't know. I don't even know how I would do things differently for last year, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's really, it is in the nature of being an entrepreneur to take risks. That's it. That's the real thing. But taking too much risks, if you are overconfident, it means that you need to be willing to lose things, way more things than others, and to have much more stress than most of people would be willing to support and to accept. So if that's the case, and if you want to know how to really increase your self level, the level of your self-confidence, I'm going to share with you the little trick I used 5 or 6 years ago. In fact, it's with a simple basic tool. It's with an elastic. I've put an elastic around my wrist, and every time I was doubting about myself, every time I was hesitating on something, etc., what I did was to just take the elastic and slap my wrist with it, and it hurts on the time, and then it programmed my brain to say, okay, every time I doubt about myself, it hurts. So my brain now do not doubt. And that's how I was able to now, and I am able now to take more risks. I am able to know that no matter what happened, I know that I have the strength to overcome any situation. I could go bankrupt, anything, I could overcome any type of situation. And that's what leads me to take more risks, to take positioning that most of people would not take, like my CTO friend working exclusively with startups, as example. It's a very risky positioning because startups don't have that much money, but because I know and I believe in something, I know I can make it with this market positioning, and we can still tweak things, etc. So that's how we can maybe create more innovative product, more innovative positioning more innovative businesses by being a bit overconfident, by being willing to lose more than what others would do. And I think that's a skill, that's a quality that we should find in most of entrepreneurs. So try to position yourself on your own level of self-confidence. Position yourself in what are you willing to lose, and if you are not willing to lose too much, then in that case, that might be for a good reason. That might be maybe because you are not ready yet to take those risks or too much risks, and then maybe you need to go slower to be sure to do things properly. Remember too that testing things, losing time, losing money is also a very, very good way to learn things. And I think for myself, it's a much better way to learn things, because it's going to be very deep inside of us, because it hurts, because it's like paying for something. If you pay 10 grand or 50 grand for a degree or for a school, you will put the energy it requires to learn what is inside. While sometimes just in a book you can have the same type of information, but because you just pay that book fee $20 or 20 euros, you might not put as enough energy on that book. So it was just my thoughts for today about self-confidence. I hope it helps. Maybe it gives you some thoughts about how to position yourself on your own level of self-confidence. Wishing you a great day, and talk again very soon.